Inside Leominster is brought to you through the generous support of Colonial Insulation Company, residential and commercial insulation and fireproofing services, specializing in blown-in cellulose as well as spray foam insulation. For more information, visit their website, colonialinsulation.com. And by Medical Arts Hearing Instruments, 52 West Street in Leominster, locally and authentically providing better hearing and quality of life since 1978. www.donotshout.com.
Welcome to Inside Leominster. My name is Dean Mazzarella, Mayor for the city, and we're live tonight as we are each and every Thursday night. We're here with you for the next hour, and we're going to be talking about a whole lot of things that we hope are helpful to you. We've been doing daily briefings, one at 9, one at 4 in the afternoon, and we try to bring things to you, connect with you on things that are local and how it is affecting your life when you open your front door. Our phone number's right there. It's 978-537-7760, extension 3. That's the number to call here at Inside Leominster. And yes, it's been a very, very busy week. And but let's take that time to go out and get a full report from Art. Art, how are you tonight?
I am good. I would like to report that I was fortunate enough to take part in Senior Day, or I should say Senior Morning, at Market Basket down at Searstown this morning.
You're not old enough.
Thank you. Are you kidding? In the snow, I was on my way down there, and I am so proud, not only of the management team there and the workers, everybody included in that building, but 520, I looked up, and they had the far entrance, the one closest to the beer mart down there. That's where everyone had to enter, and they were letting us in early. There must have been 200 of us at that opening, right in the beginning. The minute we walked in the door, they made announcements over the loudspeaker that they had disinfected all the carriages. Welcome to the da-da-da-da Market Basket.
Wow.
I noticed only one shelf, one aisle of cleaning products that was half empty, but they were working diligently. And now, get this, at 5:30, there was also a young man outside with a broom and a shovel clearing the path, and just everything there made you feel at home. The manager of the store was standing next to the door as we come in saying good morning and thanking us because his wife was happy that he wasn't home and bothering her, and he said, thank you for coming because I got kicked out early, something like that. It was kind of funny. And believe it or not, I did my shopping, about 8 or 9 items. I was home at 5:45.
Wow, that's great.
I was the first one to go to a checkout.
Good for you.
They were extremely polite. In fact, one of them says, oh, you bought some dog biscuits. What kind of dog do you have? And I said, well, I don't have a dog. And they looked at me like, I got the feeling she was thinking, oh, my God, a senior that can't afford food, he's going to eat dog biscuits. And I said, no, my neighbor has the most gorgeous beagle. His name is Kennedy.
Kennedy.
And when they have an electric fence, and I was mowing the lawn one day, and he come over and sat down. He was looking at me, and I said, geez, I wish I had a biscuit. So the lights went off. That was 3-4 years ago. I have a box upstairs next to the deck, and I have a box downstairs. So if I come out through the garage and Kennedy's waiting for me, every morning he's sitting there, and I go over and I pat him, and I give him his biscuit. He throws it up in the air and runs around. He's my buddy.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. And I told her the story. I said, it's not for me. I don't have a dog, but my neighbor does.
Right.
And his name is Kennedy. And he's a funny dog.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it. He was telling me they're getting ready for a nice barbecue at home, and they got two little guys that go to Johnny Appleseed, and they bought these beautiful steaks. His wife was preparing them. She put it on the counter. All of a sudden, she's missing Kennedy.
Kennedy grabbed him. Only a dog could get away with that.
Yeah. But outside of that, it was uneventful at the store. It was great.
Good.
And, I was reading some articles of people that had a not so pleasant experience at other stores, but this, and I've said it 100 times, and I'll say it again, was typical Leominster.
Yeah, good. Glad you had that
flows
good
out of
experience.
It's contagious, like this stupid disease that's going around. Friendliness and a smile is what Leominster's all about, and I saw
That's
that
it.
this morning. Every worker in the store was smiling. Nobody
Good.
was. In fact, the lady that put my groceries in the bags, I said, "Well, nice to be up nice and early. Now you get to go home early." She says, "No, I'm here till 5 with a smile.
Wow.
12 hours, no problem."
Wow. That's a long
I think
day.
it's great. The only thing missing was Mark.
Yeah. Well, he
He always greeted me with a smile, and
makes a few appearances a week down there.
yeah, I'm sure.
Stay in touch.
The living legend. He comes down and walks through.
That's it.
He was as part of that store so much as the name.
Yep. And they knew it too.
Yep. And I hope this thing gets past and everybody gets through it without.
Yes. Stay healthy. By all means, take it.
We're hermits. We're not going anywhere.
Take it serious, because this is a nasty disease. You can call it a flu if you want, but it's nasty and highly contagious, and that is why you see that's why you see all these sort of warnings coming out. You don't want to get it. You don't want to transfer it to anybody else, and so be extremely careful. I guess what we learned, or appears to have learned, is if we can sort of we can shut the world down. I guess shut everything down for a little while, then we get by it faster, and we save people's lives, and get back to whatever the normal is after this. Is we get back to that. But this is when you see the President of the United States on the every day on television, it's pretty serious.
And now's the time to do something nice, or do one more little tidbit. And believe me, I'm not blowing my own horn, but I unloaded my stuff out of the groceries and put them in the car, and I happened to look down the lot over towards Sears, and I saw this gentleman and his wife, and it was the parking lot. They were just starting to put salt down.
Oh yeah.
Because of that quick burst of snow
we got a
and
little bit.
they were walking kind of gingerly. So I took the initiative to push my cart down to them so they'd have something to hold on to. You'd have thought I gave them $100.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I said, "You're welcome."
That's outstanding.
Just little things like that.
That's all. It all matters, doesn't it?
I only got one glare from my darling wife because I didn't get bleach. They didn't have any.
Really? They have bleach?
But that's okay. She still made me muffins today.
She did?
Yes, blueberry and raspberry.
Wow.
Oh.
You really did all right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And she come up with this Italian stew. I ought to market it. Oh, unbelievable.
You're like a king.
Great stuff. And she's feeling much better. Everybody's doing well.
Good.
So having said that, don't you overdo it.
No.
And don't forget, just knock elbows. Don't shake hands.
That's it.
Okay.
All right.
See you later.
All right. 978-537-7760. That's the number to call. Keep calm and carry out. Local restaurants that are they need your support more than ever. And here are some of the restaurants that are participating in takeout or delivery. 435 Bar and Grill, right downstairs from here. Applebee's, Aroma Joe's, C&M Pizza, Central Cup, Columbia Tavern. I'm not sure whether they're open or not, so you got to check with Columbia Tavern. I thought I saw something today that said they were closed. Comaquito, Christina's, the Daily Bagel, Domino's Pizza, El Changaro, El Camino, the Gas Bar, Lemongrass, Moe's Restaurant, Munchies to Go, North End Diner, Paisano's Pizza, Papa John's, Papu's Pizza, Pasta Land, Ryan Time, Say More Rays at Dandini's Liquors, Shaken Dog, Slate Bar and Grill, Tang Dynasty, Tequila El Amigo, TC Lando's, Texas Roadhouse, Thai Jasmine, Tomatoes Pizzeria, Uno's Pizzeria, West End Diner are all the ones that let us know. We sort of reached out to everybody. These are the ones that get back to us and said that they were, in fact, doing takeout and some are doing delivery. You might want to give them a call just to find out their hours of operation. Again, some of the places, I think Christina's open up a little bit later in the day, so you want to check on details in terms of what their hours of operation are and whether they have a limited menu or not. We're taking a short break and we're going to be coming back talking more about the coronavirus. We'll be talking about how it impacts people that will or have already been told that they will be laid off, some of the funds that are being set up, and we'll have a guest from the North Central Chamber of Commerce. So we'll be right back, and stay tuned. Flood of 1936. It's amazing we still have footage of it, and how remarkable that somebody saved it and they were able to convert it here at LTV. One of the great things they do here on the historic end is the restoration of some of the old photos and films in conjunction with the LEOMINSTER Historic Commission. Here's our phone number, 978-537-7760, extension 3. Guess who's with me tonight? David Ginisi from the North Central Mass Chamber of Commerce.
Pleasure to be here this evening.
You look sharp.
Thank you. Thank you. I try to.
You look dapper.
Keep some upkeep. This time that everyone's kind of down.
So I say we gotta. When people, you gotta look excited and happy and right.
Right.
Keep a good face and look good.
We gotta seize the day, as they say, and that's what we're doing at the North Central Mass Chamber. Right now, we're in full swing, 100% focus around COVID-19, but better known as the coronavirus, and the impact that it's having on all of our businesses in North Central Mass, including Leominster.
Right. As much as we can understand it. And a couple of weeks ago, in our sort of internal meetings, I said, questions were, where do you see this going? And I said, slowly, by a week and a half, everything will be pretty much closed. Everything, and they said, really, you think so? And I said, oh yeah, there's no question about it. And it's been not a light switch and shutting everything off, but driving through town today, anybody could see there are very few people on the road, very few businesses that are open, schools are out, only takeout restaurants, and some businesses open. A lot of contractors are still working, and service people, plumbers and and electricians and tradespeople. But as it just continues to slow down. And
yeah.
So we don't know the full effect, but at the end, it looks like pretty much everything's going to be closed, other than grocery markets, pharmacies, and takeout food.
Well, I like to make the analogy that we're of course Johnny Appleseed country, and much like an apple tree, when it loses a limb, it eventually grows back stronger
Sure.
than when it once was. And I do foresee that this region, the business community here, will come back from this, bounce back, and they'll be stronger than ever before.
Sure.
And
Well,
that's
you just saw the flood of 1936.
Absolutely.
Took out a good chunk of Leominster in that flood, in terms of bridges and waterways that you saw some of those areas there. They took out full bridge areas. It literally separated the community in half, and reality is bounced back. And then after that, there was the tornado that came through. We had a hurricane. There are a number of things that had us, and we always come back stronger. We're resilient, and that's pretty much our makeup.
Exactly, and that's what we want to reinsure the business community of that.
Sure.
This is not the end of the road, and it is quite scary. When we have a lot of our businesses reach out to us, and you can definitely hear the fear in their voice, and so we're here because we want to put them at ease. We want to show them that there are resources available that we have for them to look into, participate in, take advantage of. The best we can do right now is be a vehicle for them and bring them to a place to get more information if we can't help them. And so we have a lot of different avenues that we have available for businesses in North Central Mass to take advantage of.
These guys are so fancy here, huh? Aren't they? They're remarkable. They're so high tech.
So there's a lot of resources available.
Sure. So the federal government has announced they're going to be helping businesses. The state says they're going to be helping business. Now it's a matter, and the chamber is going to be helping businesses. And so there are a number of pools of funding that are coming to assist. Nobody's quite figured out what they all mean just yet. They're trying to move. Now, you imagine Washington, moving so quickly that people will get a check or an unemployment check within a week, which is remarkable. Things like that have really never happened in the past. So are there any programs that you know of for sure that people can begin to apply for? I know you said you had over 50 people, interested in some of their loan programs is what they are, correct?
So under the North Central Massachusetts Chamber umbrella, we have the economic development organization known as the North Central Mass Development Corporation. Right. That has been continuously and consistently funding businesses throughout North Central Mass region and beyond. We had put together a quick response to the concern around the COVID-19 epidemic, which is an emergency microloan fund. We just put out that press release earlier this week. And within a night and a half of having that out publicly, we had a huge pool of applicants, people who are concerned that they can't keep their business above water, who are interested in of us helping them. And these are businesses that need quick access to capital just to kind of keep themselves
just to hang in
floating,
there.
Just to
like
hang
a bridge,
in there.
right? I mean,
Exactly.
basically, it's a bridge loan to get you from point A to point B, right?
Exactly. And so we're able to grant businesses that qualify up to $20,000 in immediate assistance for their business.
Is it a relatively, from what I heard, it was a relatively reasonable interest rate?
Yeah, it's a reasonable interest rate compared to other banks, and we're not competitors of banks. We work with banks, and the point is that if we're not able to assist a business with funding and help, we have the correct resources to appoint them to where they can access the basic information.
978-537-7760 is the number to call here at Inside Leominster, and we're talking right now about the impact of business, but later on we'll be talking about the impact to employees, to everybody. I mean, this thing's had a ripple effect.
Tourism, Mr. Mayor. I mean, of course, our tourism roots started right here in Leominster. And tourism has just taken a big hit. And as the Regional Tourism Council as well, visit North Central Massachusetts, we're doing everything we can on that side to kind of keep the consumer market running. We just launched a great campaign on social media called the Takeout Blitz. We put that out immediately in response to Governor Baker's announcement on Sunday evening. And we've seen a huge pool of support, a lot of people rallying behind the campaign. And it's all about showcasing and putting the word out there about all the restaurants in North Central Mass that offer takeout. And we share their pictures online. In fact, I had Kamakito, you mentioned Kamakito. We had Kamakito do some delivery today. And in fact, a testament to the owner of Kamakito, Mr. Rodrigo Souza, actually delivered the food himself. This is how serious it is. This is how dedicated our business owners are, and it's very admirable. And I really hope people who are sitting at home watching this right now, tell your family members, tell your friends, tell your relatives to really do some takeout, do your part, and support our restaurants.
You know, as much as we've drifted away and people talked about online, it's sort of strange how it all came full circle, and we're really beginning to realize the full impact on what local business really means.
Absolutely.
And how if you drive around, think about all these businesses that are closed. Just think if they were permanently closed. And there are ways to help them. Obviously, these bridge loans will help. But right now, more immediately, doing the whole takeout food thing is a huge help to these local businesses. Now, we read off a list here of, our little logo was keep calm and carry out, right? Stay calm, carry out. And we've got, 20 or 30 restaurants that are participating, and there's probably more. And but think about it. I know you can't go to every single one of them. And we also have the pizza crawl going on.
Absolutely.
And that's still going on. It's perfect because it's a takeout kind of thing.
And I got to say, the pizza crawl is personally my favorite event that the city of Leominster puts on. And I know Melissa Tasca does a wonderful job with that. And in a way, it couldn't have happened at a better time because the pizza crawl isn't technically affected by this, what's going on, because it was all focused around takeout to begin with. So it's a brilliant idea, and I really hope that the people of Leominster really support that program as well. And I hear it's doing fantastic.
The feedback has been really good. I mean, we've had people calling into us, or we put things on Facebook and like, I went out to here at 4:35, or and I'm out trying to get as much as we possibly can, trying to get something to eat or drink or something just to help in a little way, and it really can make a difference. And so if you've had that experience and you did some takeout and you want to share that with us, let us know where you went. Give us a buzz at 978-537-7760. Just press extension 3 and they'll patch you through. I know I have friends from all over the country that are constantly messaging me or texting me and letting me know what's going on in those areas. And we're pretty much all in the same boat, so to speak, in the sense that it's really, I guess the message, again, to get through to everybody is the faster we can slow this down and get it under control, the quicker we can get back to normal life. Now, that's a difficult thing to say, right? I mean, because it's almost unimaginable that we're going to close things down and ration toilet paper. I mean, it's almost like unthinkable. So how do you tell somebody this story 3 or 4 weeks ago?
Right.
It really sunk in when it got out of control in Italy, and people heard the stories about what happened in Spain and other places where they didn't react. And so, how do you get on TV, or how do you communicate that message that be careful? And we have a little list over here of 26 miles of trails that we have here in Leominster. We're pushing that as a tourism issue, but there are a number of parks that we have in and around the city, and we want people to enjoy them. So what can people do, right? We're going to narrow this down by tomorrow on what you can and can't do, right?
Well,
besides the shopping experience.
Of course, and to that point, what you can do is take a walk in nature.
Right.
It's in a way, we're kind of going back to the basics of what it was before
European
technology.
Sunday.
Exactly.
Right? Ride your bike. Last week we had that nice day, whether it was Saturday or Sunday. I saw more bicycles out than I knew existed. They were amazing. I wish we had the bike trail open, but we didn't. But they found places to go, and people were everywhere. people were walking, hiking. I heard from so many people that said, you know, I never had the time to really walk the trails in Leominster or visit some of these parks. But we did. We took the time. We had a great time, and we're glad we did it. So yard work, another thing that you can do, right?
Yeah, I know all the children probably listening and watching are going to hate to hear that, but yard work, of course. You know, now's the time to, you know, like just snowed, but maybe, you know, rake up those leaves that maybe you didn't rake up in the fall time, or, you know, kind of prepare.
Help the neighbor out.
I mean, technically it is spring now, right? Wasn't today the first day of spring? So
in a few hours, I think.
yeah. So I mean, you know, we're going to get ready to do some spring cleaning, but I guess it all depends on how severe this ends up getting, and what are they all saying right now? Flatten the curve, right? That's what everybody's saying.
And what a mammoth effort with the school department in Chartwell to get out all those meals and lunches to kids. And they didn't wait. It didn't take them 2 or 3 days to ramp up. First thing Monday morning, they were out there and getting all those bagged lunches to kids. And I peeked in, and there's an apple in there and some red and green peppers all chopped up. And there's a sandwich in there and little graham crackers, and it's the thing weighs like 3 or 4 pounds, and they managed to get them out to kids, and it's quite a thing to be set up. And so the first day I think they did 600, and then 700, and then, you know, they're up to 8 something, and then and then they make a midday drop, and then we have some at City Hall. So if kids live close to downtown, or their families don't have access to transportation, they couldn't get to one of the other sites. And let me just share with you the other sites. It's Leominster High School, the Flagpole Entrance, Francis Drake School, Johnny Appleseed School, and Fallbrook. And I know the teachers and the staff are coming up, kind of, I call it like a Pinterest, it turned into a Pinterest world, where everybody's coming up with really creative things to do to help kids and to continue to retain what they learned. What, you know, if you see teachers in the classroom, they are extremely regimented. They have a classroom a plan, and they have to meet that plan every day. One day is disruptive for them because they have to meet certain goals, and they know by the end of the year, this is what our students need to be taught.
Yeah.
If they're going to pass the MCAS, if they're going to move on to the next grade. So they have a lot of work that needs to be done. And so when you get disruption like this, like I said, disruption for an hour, a fire drill, is disruptive for them. So they're looking for creative ways to be able to get that information out and continue. And so I've seen some great things using technology. I know we want to do story hour here. Hopefully next week, we kept saying we're going to start it this week, where, you know, we'll just have different people come on and read stories, and old days of Romper Room or whatever. But there's some really neat ways that people use in Skype to communicate with their students, and
yeah,
it's pretty
so
cool.
A couple points to that.
What's the other one? What's the other one? What's the other application? Not Skype, but what's the other one?
Uvo.
Uvo was the other one?
Was the other one, but I think a lot of people now are doing like GoToWebinar and Zoom.
Zoom, that's the one. Zoom.
There's a lot of those out there.
My nephew's teaching his music students, and niece are teaching his students on like Skype.
Yeah,
and it's remarkable.
It's to that point. From our standpoint, I mean, we deal with so many businesses throughout, 27 communities. To see the originality and the creativity and the ways that some of these businesses are still trying to interact and engage with their audiences. I mean, the Fitchburg Art Museum, who is now publicly closed, have activities for children to do online that they can do at home, do some arts and crafts at home, just to help stimulate them. Right.
And Michael's is still open if people need to go in and grab some supplies.
Sure, yes.
You'd be surprised how, it was funny today because somebody at City Hall said to me, geez, I got 3 kids. It's a challenge teaching them, and they're all at different ages, and it's challenging. But at the same time, I heard somebody say today, parents saying, once the kids get to a certain level, grade level, it's very difficult to help them out. And then another person said, well, that's a good chance for both of you to learn.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, and to the other point, too, that I wanted to make, it's remarkable how many people, men and women, have stepped up to the plate and have become these leaders that we have already thought that they were or knew that they were, and kind of take the initiative to do things like what the Leominster Public Schools are doing. We're seeing that all over, and it's very admirable.
Sure.
And it speaks volumes in terms of people who are stepping up to the plate.
People will. When you have we had the ice storm and all that, when people struggle, we always seem to do better, right? We always seem to help that neighbor that maybe we didn't know so well. But and let's talk about the elderly, because that's really the high risk here. Yeah. It's the elderly population. ones with pre-existing conditions or maybe have a disability, those are the people that we really got to watch out for. Those are the ones that we really need to sort of limit their exposure in a number of different ways. Because that's, they have said, the CDC has said time and time again, there could be young people under 50 or 60 who have it, who will never know they had it, show no symptoms. In fact, I think the last case they got yesterday afternoon was somebody that the ambulance had picked up in another town that at the time showed no symptoms. They had picked them up for another reason.
Yeah.
Well, lo and behold, they had tested positive. So, it is the case where we should assume we're all carrying it. We should assume all surfaces carry it, even though some aren't, carries it for, some things carry it for 3 hours and other things carry it for 2. Forget all that because I can't possibly remember all that. Just assume that every surface needs to be cleaned. You need to wash your hands after touching that.
Exactly.
Just assume all that, right?
Yeah.
And that's the way to get through that.
Back to the basics.
Yeah.
Back what our parents had taught us years ago. It's what we taught our children early on. It's practicing what we preach, and we need to do that now more than ever. I mean, when I saw you today, we did a fist bump, but I thought maybe we were going to do the elbows because that's what people are doing. It's either elbows or fist bump right now.
I know there's no more
handshake.
hugging going on,
Nothing.
no more shaking hands. And you can see that real desire for people to want to hug each other and give a handshake and stuff. And all of a sudden we can't do that. And I don't know if that's the temporary new normal or the new normal. 978-537-7760 is the number to call. If you have a question, give us a buzz. If you want to Facebook us a question, you're watching live streaming, you can do that as well. Just go ahead and leave us a message, and if you have a question, I will read the question and we'll get you an answer. Let's do photos of the week. Let's see what's going on out there, David. You ready?
Well, I could imagine what's going on out there, so I'll be interested to see what these pictures are.
Well, something positive. We're planting flowers. We're always the first in the state, right? That's our bragging point here, to plant flowers. And Wendy Weeks went down to Cavecchio's and got our first pansies and planted them in different spots in the city. There we are. Something really positive, right? Carter Junior High.
Great project.
Yeah, I'll tell you. It came out so nice. I got a chance to tour it last week. How impressive. It's just so beautiful. I just wish Mr. Cousins, my old principal at LEOMINSTER High, he had said when they first talked about assisted living there, and that was many, many years ago, he had hoped someday to live there, which didn't happen, but he'd be thrilled. And he actually went to school there, I think. I think he taught there, or he might have been the principal there, whatever. But the reality is he'd be pretty happy. I walked through with that sitting in the back of my mind, like, hey, what would Mr. Cousins think? And because he was a real historian as well, and loved history. And so as much as education is, I walked through the school, I thought, you know what, Mr. Cousins really liked this place. They did a really nice job.
Well, a lot of the community leaders we know are graduates of Carter School.
Absolutely. We're finding out more and more, right?
Yeah.
There's some, there's the kitchens, plenty of storage in there. The hallways, the ceiling's got to be, 14 feet tall. It's just beautiful. The hallway's nice and wide. They saved as much of the flooring as they could. And some of the plaster, I guess is what it is, like plaster design molds that they had. We knew of a couple that were in the front entrance. In fact, Tucker Hazard, that was on the Historic Commission, he's stayed on me since the day the building closed about making sure nothing happened to those things. Well, not only did they preserve the original 2 that they had in the main lobby, but they found 5 others inside the building. Look at those windows. I mean, just the colors, the windows, the flooring. Even the studio-sized apartments, so 1 bedroom, feel they're so open, and it's just beautiful. And there we are, our public-private partnerships and planning. There we are here at the Emergency Management Center, and this is our meeting that we had with Health Alliance, and this was, I guess, over a week ago. And you know how fast things changed. We were talking about schools, and we were trying to keep the schools open as long as we could, right? Not knowing how long, and thinking, well, this isn't even peaked out yet. We're talking 2 or 3 weeks maybe down the road. So we went to, a discussion about closing the schools for 2 days. And then it went to 2 weeks, all within a couple of days. And then then the governor changed it to 3 weeks. And every day, every almost minute, something is evolving, something is is changing. So there we were on Friday, and boy, as soon as we left the meeting on Friday, things changed and continued to change all day long. City business still underway. We have work to do. We want to serve the public. We want to protect them. We know there are still things that they need to get done, or things that they want to get done. A lot of things are on our website, leominster-ma.gov, but some things aren't, or people come from out of town. People don't have access to the internet. So what we're doing is we're putting a list in the front of all of our buildings with phone numbers. And we're bringing things out. And today they were bringing out marriage certificates. There was a couple that had a wedding planned. And of course, they're not going to be able to have the big wedding. And I said, so what are you going to do? And they're like, we're going to come back and get married. You know, we're just going to have a small wedding. We're just going to get married.
That's great.
And I thought, no, that's commitment, right?
That's
nice.
true love.
So true love. And there'll be a lot of good stories that come out of this, right, at the end of all this. And I know Rick Marshall was here for one of our press things, and he usually, takes photos of all, big snowstorms and water, flooding that we have, or whatever situation's going on. And then later on, he hands you something, and you look back, and you're like, wow, geez, it happens. Everything happens so fast in front of you, you never have a chance to look back.
Yep.
So we are open. There's a school breakfast. They did over 750. I think they did more than that today, but inside there is some really neat things, and they have a puzzle on the back or a word search. So great job by the superintendent and staff over at the school department and Chartwell's making sure that everybody gets fed, right? And it's highly nutritious, right? It's healthy food. There's an apple in there, and geez. Hey, Dropkick Murphys, they didn't skip a beat, right? Now, I know so many people, they go to Lowell, or they go to different concerts around St. Patrick's Day. And I got to tell you, did you watch it at all?
I did not watch it, actually.
Excellent. I mean, it was excellent, first class. And of course, Matt Kelly is from Leominster here, right? The drummer. And everything was just perfect. And you know what? A lot of people would never have ever gotten the chance to see Dropkick Murphys.
I think it's with a lot of musical artists right now.
Yeah,
they're doing live streams of free concerts.
That's awesome. And the Metropolitan out in New York City, again, doing more of their presentations and things. And why not, right? People get exposed to things they've never seen, and that might turn into people that later become customers or go to another concert, right? And I think that's it. Thank you all, Leominster. We're all in this together, and we really are. I mean, that's our sort of thing, right? Is we all band together to get the job done, and everybody pitches in, and that's what's most important. We still have some time left. I want to read a couple of announcements here. Let's see. The emergency management phone number. This is our emergency operations center. They were there from 8 in the morning yesterday to 8 in the morning till 8 in the evening. Their phone number, and this is pretty much anything you could ever want to know or ask. 978-534-7500, and then you hit extension 5055. If you call that number and you don't remember the extension, it'll say this is the coronavirus. If you have questions about it, hit this number. It's sort of an all-purpose. They'll also take your phone number and name if you're interested in being a volunteer. We might not need you today, but as this thing sort of intensifies, then we will probably need you to do some shopping for some elderly. There are a whole slew of things that we can think of for you to help with. So that's their extension. Our extension is 978-534-7500, extension 0. That's the mayor's office. Market basket. So Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 60 and older, 5:30 to 7. The regular hours are 7 to 9, 7 to 7 on Sundays. Shaw's is doing Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 to 9 for seniors and others at risk. Target, reducing hours. They're going to close their stores at 9 p.m. The first hour of shopping every Wednesday at 9 o'clock is reserved for the elderly and obviously those with underlying health concerns. So somebody called me today and say, I shopped for somebody else. Call the store ahead, save everybody the aggravation, the embarrassment of somebody thinking that maybe you're trying to sneak in on it.
Right.
But give them a buzz and say, look, I have to come in and shop for somebody else. Is that okay? Carla, welcome to the show.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, what's going on, Crystal?
I've been staying home like you've been telling me to.
Well, it's always good to avoid.
And I wash my hands, too.
Yeah, unless you really have to go out for something, but
No.
Stay home. There's plenty on TV, right?
Yep, I've been watching Andy Griffith and Leave It to Beaver in the morning.
Really?
Yeah.
You watch Eddie Haskell? Leave
He's
It to
a
Beaver?
troublemaker.
Hello, Mrs. Cleaver. Don't you look beautiful today? Right?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Good for you. You're doing all the
Yeah.
right things.
And they don't miss me at McDonald's at all.
What's that?
HMEA is still closed for further notice.
Right, right. A lot of the organizations and schools are closed until further notice. But
Yep.
that's okay. Stay healthy, right?
Yep. Thank you, buddy.
Okay. Take care.
Tell your family I said hi.
I will. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Walmart is doing early shoppers for elderly on Tuesdays for an hour before the store opens. And JCPenney is closing, not permanently, but just until further notice. Home Depot will be closing at 6 every night. And I noticed today the paper store was closed. I noticed that, let's see, looks like Ocean State was open, Michael's was open in that mall. Barnes & Noble was open, the furniture store was open. And it looked like Marshall's and TJ Maxx and Home Goods was closed. And I'm not sure what else in places up at Kmart area where they're open or closed. Grocery stores are obviously open and pharmacies and all of that. And don't forget the takeout part of this as well. So so that takes care of that piece. Telemedicine, people will hear a lot more about telemedicine, which is the ability either by like a Skype kind of thing or a phone call for a doctor or a medical person to be able to call an elderly person that might be having some problems, whether they have the flu or some symptoms, and that will cut down on the amount of people that end up going to the emergency room or the healthcare stops. If you believe you're having symptoms, any of the symptoms, it is always better to make that phone call first. So call your primary doctor first. If you don't have a primary doctor, then you want to switch over to urgent care center or the hospital or some health care agency and let them know what's going on, and they will direct you into making the proper next step decisions. United Way issued, I think, a press release today. They're working on helping those servers, those people that might need some help. Now think of a server. I think they make $4 and something an hour, and they count on tips. Well, restaurants are closed, and I don't know how many people the restaurants need to do the takeout, but if they're not working, it's very difficult for them to file for unemployment unless I understand that when you give a tip as part of your credit card, that is they keep track of. But as we know, a lot of people tip in cash. There's no way to track that, and so we're trying to help and work with a couple of different agencies to help those people out, specifically bartenders, that sort of thing. If you're already given a notice that you're unemployed or laid off temporarily, or your hours are reduced, then you want to go to the Career Center, which is called Mass Hire. Yep. And Jeff Robridge did a great job. He said on Monday they did 20,000 claims, unemployment. All of February, I think we did 17.
Yeah. Jeff's been working very hard over there.
30,000 yesterday.
It's amazing.
30,000, and that is probably expected to grow. So everyone is here to help you. People are going, so they're training new people, other people from other state agencies to get on the phone. If you do have to call any of those agencies, you may have to wait a little while because of the caseload, the amount of people that are calling. So do as much online as you possibly can. Courts are closed for right now. Housing court cases, except for emergencies, will be rescheduled to April 21st. Conference calls. We are on conference calls day and night with Mass Mayors Association, U.S. Conference of Mayors, United Way, the hospital. I mean, every day is 4, 5, 6 different conference calls. So we stay up on exactly what's going on in and around the city, around the state and the country. We need to stay up on top of things so we can report back when people ask us questions. As far as testing, very soon supplies are beginning to come in. As far as from what I know from what Health Alliance has told me is that it will not be set up so that anybody can just drive up. There's some screening involved in terms of who gets tested, and obviously you're going to need to show some symptoms in order to be tested. So I think we've gone from, really looks like this person has the symptoms and that we're going to test them, to there are more tests available, so we're going to test more people. Maybe if they don't have all 8 symptoms, maybe they have 6, and we're going to test them anyway. People in public safety. And we want to give a big shout out to those in the healthcare industry, because they are actually the first line of those who are going to be exposed. I heard there were 2 or 3 emergency room doctors somewhere in this country that were exposed. And healthcare workers have a high risk, as well as those in public safety. And those in public safety never know what they're walking into. And you could be of help if you let, when you call either the police or fire or dispatch, let them know if someone in the house has been sick. They're going to ask you some questions anyway, but as much information as you can share with them, I know would be appreciated. And the same thing with those that feel that they need to go to the emergency room. Whatever information you can give them in advance is really going to be helpful. We're working real hard at City Hall to try to provide as many of the services that we do day to day on a continued basis as long as we can. The city's hotline, 978-534-7500, 5055. The school department, 978-534-7700, 1341. Food distribution sites, 7 to 9 in the morning, LEOMINSTER High School at the Flagpole, Francis Drake School, Johnny Appleseed School, and Fallbrook, and then down at Riverside Apartments, as well as Silverleaf, which is over on Litchfield Street. They do bring food, I think, around 11 or 12 o'clock down there. And then if you're anywhere near downtown and somehow or another you couldn't get to those locations, by all means let us know. We do have some of the bags with food at City Hall. And then if you can't get there and you cannot get to, you don't have transportation, or you're not close enough to one of these other locations, call us and we'll make sure you get some food, right? So everybody's going above and beyond, working closely together, shoulder to shoulder, teamwork to get the job done.
Absolutely, and to that point, we actually have created a wonderful resource page on our website just for business owners and people who are involved who are temporarily laid off or their business is closed right now. All resources that are linked with the state agencies, MEMA, the Commonwealth, where you could look into unemployment,
right,
temporary,
you guys have a
all
ton
this
of stuff on your website.
Yeah, it's a great resource for everyone watching, or if you know someone who's in a dire situation, just to check out that page alone, just to see all the resources that we have right there, all right there in the midst of your fingertips.
And that's at North Central Mass.
Correct. Just go to our website, northcentralmass.com. Mm-hmm. We also launched later last week a useful hotline as well for any business that's going through a crisis and needs immediate assistance. We've established an email system for you. It's help@northcentralmass.com. Mm-hmm. And you email help@northcentralmass.com, and we will take care of any questions you may have, connect you to the proper resources, and do our best and do our part and do what we're supposed to do as a Chamber of Commerce to lift all of our businesses up.
David, thank you, and feel free. We do our updates on at 9 in the morning and then at 4 in the afternoon. Feel free to either send information down if things change or show up. Absolutely. And we'll give you some time to explain what's going on as we get more information. As I said, Congress and the President has signed off on a huge package. We anticipate other funding coming available. The state is passing, but we haven't figured it all out in terms of what the details are.
A lot of information.
Exactly, and so we want to break all that down and simplify it so that everybody can get it rather than there's so much. I mean, I must get 100 emails from different organizations trying to explain something to me about how their company and us relate to this and what their safety policy, which is all good stuff, but it's a whole lot of reading and it's a whole lot of trying to, try to minimize it in terms of, breaking it all down and making it understandable. So
in a hectic world right now, in a world of uncertainty, simplicity is key. We don't want to overcomplicate things. Well,
thank you for coming on. We're going to take a short break, and we're coming back with just a couple of minutes left. So if you have any questions at all, you can fire them off on our Facebook, or you can call here at the studio at 978-537-7760, extension 3. You do not have to leave your You don't have to come on the air. You can just ask the question and hang up, and they'll repeat the question. They don't tell us who you are. Just call, ask the question, and we will make sure that we read the question and give you the answer. Taking a short break. We'll be right back with more Inside Leominster. And we're back here. That was very nice. Nice job with the little drone flying over. And so a lot goes on here at LTV, Leominster.tv. You can watch it from anywhere in the world if you have internet connection by going to Leominster.tv. And lots of good programming. You know, I think one of the positive parts of this whole thing, when you're trying to find some silver linings, is that many times people don't have time to watch all the programming that we have locally here. And there's some great things on in terms of history and old sports events and repeats of old shows. And yeah, I think you'll find LTV is a great resource. We have a couple of different channels. We're going to be adding another channel, I hope, Carl and I had talked about, for mostly a kind of an economic development and business channel with a tourism component to it. So let's see. If you have any questions at all, we only have a couple minutes left, but we don't mind answering them. I can just tell you tomorrow's Friday, and we will work through the weekend. If anything comes up, we work through the weekend. This is now a 24/7 event. We are on top of this with conference calls with the governor and Mass Mayors Association, U.S. Conference of Mayors, the Bloomberg Foundation, a number of healthcare facilities, Health Alliance. They are just endless, so that we stay up to date on exactly what's going on nationally, statewide, and how it impacts us here. And that's what we do, is we take all of this information and break it down to see those pieces that affect you directly. And obviously, it affects your health. It affects your employment, as more and more people are finding out that they're going to be unemployed. Just tonight, we're just having this conversation. The International Golf Course was closing for this event and announced today that they're not going to be opening. Now, one could never have thought the International, with two 18-hole golf courses, a Sheraton hotel there, and a big venue for real pro golfers, and a big venue for weddings and special occasions, how, you know, that could affect them. And obviously, without even starting the season, they knew that it probably wasn't going to be doable through the rest of the season. 978-537-7760 is the number to call here at Inside Leominster. I know lots of people have lots of questions. I know that the school department and Department of Education is really working on how do we help those students across the board, but in particular, how do we help those students with special needs? who really count on the classroom environment, who count on their teachers and tutors, and every day of the week, and how do we make sure that they retain the learning environment that they've had and the skills and all of the things that they've learned, and they've come so far for so many students with special needs, and we don't want to see them fall back. And how do we get services to them, and either electronically or through Skype or whatever it might be? How do we do that so we continue to reinforce everything that they've gained over the school year? So I know, I think the superintendent said that they have a conference call tomorrow, I think, or Monday. So we'll learn more about that as they build their strategy. So everybody's working together to find solutions. No one's just sitting back and waiting for that date to come when the all-out is given and we return back. And we have a lot of hard-working, dedicated teachers that, as I said, every day of the week they have their plan. They have to follow that plan. If they miss 1 hour, let alone a day or a month or a week, it has a tremendous impact to the learning environment. So they want to get back into the classrooms, but absent that, what are the tools that they can use? And I know a lot of teachers have been communicating via email or Skype and have come up with some really creative ways to get that information back to their students so that, again, they are constantly communicating with them and reinforcing them with the tools that they need. Another good thing is, like Scholastic, there are just pages. In fact, on the city's Facebook page, LEOMINSTER Community, you will find some great resources. Go to the school's website. But there are a ton of resources so that students that are hooked up electronically can continue to do so in their learning assignments and other things that they can do in the learning environment. I don't know if I have the liberty to say this right now because I didn't, I just was running into the studio when I got a text saying that one of the local computer companies is going to be refurbishing laptops. And think about it. How many laptops do you have around the house that you don't use anymore because you got one that moves faster, it's smaller, whatever, that you have an electronic device that's sitting around? Maybe you want to think about donating that. We'll give you that information tomorrow. We can get that to students who maybe don't have an electronic device. And remember, they're only hooking up to the internet, so they don't need anything that's, that's a $1,000 computer or a $1,500 mobile data terminal of some sort. They just need to be able to connect. And there are a number of cable companies that are offering free service. And we also want to use some of our funding and grant funding, and this is part of what we started planning for weeks ago, to maybe get students connected who don't have internet accessibility. And so we want to package all that together, but again, I don't know whether I have the permission to let you know what the computer company is locally here that's going to begin to refurbish computers so that we can get them in the hands of students. Okay. I guess we're out of time here. Thank you, Carl and Keith and Brandon, everybody who comes in here. They've been coming in every single day and not only do their regular work here at LTV, but come in for our 9 o'clock, our 4 o'clock, and then came here tonight. Thank you, everybody. Good night. God bless you. Remember, the world is run by those who show up. Please show up. Stay healthy. Take all the necessary precautions. This isn't over yet. We have a long way to go. Good night.
Inside Leominster is brought to you through the generous support of Colonial Insulation Company, residential and commercial insulation and fireproofing services, specializing in blown-in cellulose as well as spray foam insulation. For more information, visit their website, colonialinsulation.com. And by Medical Arts Hearing Instruments, 52 West Street in Leominster, locally and authentically providing better hearing and quality of life since 1978. www.donot shout.com.